Zach actually spotted this at Texas Theater, was playing 1995's crime drama classic Heat. This was written and directed by Michael Mann with a who's who cast starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, the late Val Kilmer, John Voight, Tom Sizemore, Ashley Judd, and more. It's a crime drama of a group of bank robbers led by not Al Pacino, Robert De Niro's Neil, also who also has Val Kilmer on the stock. It starts with a big they knock over an armored truck and it's very it's I almost said it's very Dark Knight. It's the opposite. No, it inspired things like the bank robbery scene in the Dark Knight. It starts with a big heist there, and they eventually get word of an even bigger heist that they can do. And it's one of those, we just got to do one last job. This score is so big, we got to take it. And so they decide to prepare for this big bank heist. Meanwhile, Al Pacino's Vincent Hanna is on the case. He's the detective trying to take him down. Special units. This takes place in L.A. L.A. is a big character in itself. Lots of great night skyscrapers, night scenes, highways, that sort of thing. And both Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are men married to the job. That's all they know how to do. There's a famous scene where they meet at a coffee shop in the middle of the film and talk about, this is all I know how to do, and I'm always going to chase you and you're always going to run. And it's very much that thing. There are a bunch of subplots which I feel are a little undercooked and underdeveloped. They all have terrible relationships with their significant others, like Ashley Judd, and others. We see a young Natalie Portman, who I completely forgot that was in this. She must be like 14, 15 as well. There's lots of action, lots of shootouts. It's heavy on themes. It's a classic of the genre. It's nearly 3 hours long, and we got a chance to see it on the big screen. So, Zach, what did you think?
I mean, what could we say about Heat that hasn't been said before? Like, I have heard of the reputation of this movie. I've seen memes from it, namely Al Pacino screaming, "She's got a great ass." And I have heard that it might be one of the best movies ever made. So when I saw it screening at the Texas Theater, I was like, well, shoot, why not? Like, we should go check it out. So I didn't watch a trailer. I've just seen some memes in the past and heard that it's awesome. So going in and seeing it completely fresh was really special, because it is not easy to do that from a popular movie from 1995. This movie rocks, and it is everything people say it is and more. I love these mythic figures in De Niro and Pacino. I love a heist movie that ultimately is about the chase. It's about the cat and mouse game. Like, it's not about the heist. It's not about getting the job done. And it's not about catching the criminal. It's about the space between. It's about the heat, right? It's about the heat on you and whether or not you can take it and whether or not you can survive and get through it, and what it does to you and your life and your relationships on both sides of that relationship, right? Like, De Niro plays a man who's often clad in color, wears blue and white shirts, right? And he's got, good group of friends and some people around him in a real nice apartment, and things are going pretty good. And meanwhile, Pacino, the film opens, and it seems like he's got everything going for him on the surface, right? He's got an apartment and he's got a relationship with a woman. And it turns out that he is totally run down by work, and in fact is often clad in black and is chewing what looks like nicotine gum and is constantly just surrounded by death. He's like the freaking Grim Reaper, right? A reluctant Grim Reaper who doesn't want this and doesn't want this to be this way, but this is all he knows. This is all he is. And it's the only thing. He's on his third marriage. The only thing derives any enjoyment from it all. Meanwhile, De Niro is constantly going after the next score. One more big job, right? And when he does actually say, hey, I have rules and I have morals, and this is why I've been so successful, and I need to get out of this, he feels pressure from the people around him to maybe just take one more pull at it. And that's where we get this wonderful story of these two guys who are just locked in this eternal struggle. They are mythic. They're like the Batman and Joker, right? Like, they're just always going to chase each other. And if it's not them, it's going to be them in another life and another story. And man nails to absolutely man manages to nail this so well. I do think it's a little full though. I want to say it's a little full. It's like 3 hours long. There are so many characters, and it's a who's who of a cast. The cast rocks. I should hand it off to you at cast, because I feel like I can just keep talking about this.
Yeah, like we said, I mean, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, the big headliners, of course, Val Kilmer, post Tombstone when he was really coming up, John Voight, the late Tom Sizemore, who was bigger at the time. He's, of course, in Saving Private Ryan. A very young Ashley Judd, Wes Studi, who's an indigenous actor he's still acting today. So it's just a who's who. Hank Azaria, who of course voices Homer Simpson on The Simpsons, makes a short appearance. Everyone's doing great except Al Pacino is just he's doing Al Pacino, which means he is just yelling erratically from time to time. Like he'll be in a normal conversation in a normal voice, and then just jump into screaming at 110%. And it's like it's kind of comical. Like everyone in our theater, which was pretty full, was cracking up at most of the Pacino yelling because it's just it's out of character for his character, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere, and no one else on screen is doing that much.
Yeah, like it shouldn't work as well as it does because it draws an immediate distinct line between Pacino and everybody else in the movie. But that's kind of good because Pacino is this tragic figure who's kind of alone. Like nobody can really relate to him. Like he struggles to relate to his wife and his stepdaughter here. Like they all like even his coworkers are like, you're crazy, dude. Like I cannot get on the level that you're on. Like he is a man who is surrounded by the LAPD and surrounded by the resources available to him, but is like bossy and neglectful and just not in it. So when he is doing some goofy over the top comedy performance, like it helps him stand apart in some weird way and it kind of works. Like it doesn't hurt what he's doing. It just adds like flavor to the movie. It's like a great icing on top of a great cake. Meanwhile, Neil and his crew have problems on problems and way too many characters to juggle. Like there's the stockbroker character that's in there. They get a driver to fill in for their other driver, and he's got a girlfriend and a boss that he doesn't get along with, and it's like Mann is trying to stuff a little too much into the turkey here. Like it's a lot. But at the same time, incredible cinematography. I love the look of this movie. The LA night sky looks so good. Even this many years later, right? Like we watched it blown up on the big screen. Looked fantastic. Those blue lights out there that you just don't get anymore. A ton of helicopter work. For a couple times, Pacino is basically using a helicopter to get around the city instead of driving. And it's awesome. Like they're zipping around these buildings at night and they're getting close, dog. They're getting close to buildings at night. It's not a drone. Like now that footage is common. Now you can just get that safely.
Yeah.
They had to put people in a helicopter for that. That's dangerous. Like it's crazy. And that stuff just looks like commonplace. Like it's so cool what's going on in this movie. Not to mention huge explosions, giant gunfights that seem so chaotic. There's a gunfight like probably beginning of the third act, end of the second act in here. Like my jaw was dropped for half of it. I couldn't even close my mouth. I was like, this is so insane. Like the stakes are so high. Anybody can die at any moment in probably horrible bloody fashion. And because you have so many characters, everybody's got a story, right? Even like Sizemore's got a story. Kilmer's got a story. The getaway driver's got a story. So if anything happens to one of these guys, it's an immediate like blow to you watching the movie. Like it's great. It feels so tense. It feels like the kind of thing where now it would be a 10 episode miniseries on HBO. But Mann manages to do it in like 2 hours 50 in what is like this large scale epic about two guys just locked in this battle.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, there is a sequel being developed by Michael Mann, Heat 2, which is supposed to come out in the next few years. We'll see what that's all about. I wanted to get to the action. And again, we've had 30 years of great action movies and things that have borrowed from Heat, so it's kind of strange or anachronistic when you go back. But man, it really works. Like I said, it opens with the robbery of an armored car, and it's one of these things where it just looks so slick. Like everyone has these really intimidating hockey masks. They all have big guns, and they're very disciplined. They're like, this guy's doing this thing, this guy's doing that thing. It's very coordinated, and they're not stealing money. They're not stealing, but like in that first robbery, they're after these bearer bonds, and so they have a very specific target, and it's just incredibly disciplined. And again, it reminded me so much, definitely inspired the opening of the Dark Knight. In the middle is the famous shootout with the cops and robbers section, which is really long and it's loud and there's lots of gunfire and lots of people die on both sides. Civilians caught in the crossfire, and again in '95 this would have been electric, just because it would have been so much more difficult to shoot action like that. And I mean, it's like a war zone. It's so effective.
I can't believe how good it holds up, because you're right. Like there's been so many action movies since that have pulled from what Mann is doing here, that stuff in Heat now almost feels commonplace. Like if you had a teenager who was an action fan, you could show them Heat and they might be bored. They'd be like, yeah, there's a couple cool scenes in there. Like, but when you put yourself back in '95 and like what was coming out and what this movie was doing and just how many trails it seems to have blazed, you realize there's nothing quite like it. It is very special. It was so cool seeing it on the big screen. If it's coming to you nearby, roadshow screening or something, local nostalgia theaters put it on, like you should definitely go check it out. It was a delight to watch. I had completely forgot about Heat 2 till Andy said something just now. I got to go check that book out. It's probably awesome. I think there is a movie coming though. I'd imagine in the age of legacy sequels, maybe, that they're making a Heat 2. We can only hope that Mann can bring it like Danny Boyle 28 years later, right? Like if you can put yourself back in these shoes and do something like this, like I think it'd be really special. I mean, it's tremendous. You can see the inspiration for things like Michael Bay, like making films, right? Yeah, you can see it in Christopher Nolan's work. Like you can see elements of this movie inspiring other things, like in real time watching it. It's really special and gives it something. I don't know. It's just so few movies have now. I feel like I'm running out of good things to say about it. Andy, any other thoughts or recommendations?
My only small criticisms, because I have seen this before, but not for a long time. It does feel a little bit too long, and that it's biting off a little bit more than it can chew. I think there's way too many subplots going on. I counted them up, and it's something like 7, because everyone's relationship is a subplot. The daughter's a subplot. There's the first guy they rip off as a subplot. It just, there's so much going up, and some of it doesn't really tie up too neatly. But the big swings are so good and so memorable that it's worth it every time.
Yeah, the broad strokes are tremendous. And even then, I think like those smaller relationships probably give you something to revisit, right? You really want to check out Henry Rollins' character, or like that one scene appearance by Jeremy Piven as a balding doctor. Like you can, like, yeah, odd, like just some odd. John Voight's a whole damn character with multiple scenes in this movie, like very strange, but hey man, like it is big and bold, and that was the whole thing, right? Just icing on the cake. Andy, would you recommend Heat?
Yeah, I absolutely would. It's a must-see for film fans and fans of cinema. It kind of laid the groundwork for a lot of modern action scenes. There's great shootouts, action, incredible performances by Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, Ashley Judd, John Voight, and more and more. It's great to look back on. 30 years old, still holds up. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I do too. Though with the right setting, I want to say. I think if you haven't seen Heat, like I hadn't seen Heat as of last week, either watch it with some people who have seen it, or try to see it in a fashion where you're going to put your phone away and lock in and watch Heat. This movie's not going to be a good time if you're on Twitter half the runtime. Like you're going to look up and be like, who are they talking to? Who's this person? Like, strap in for what Heat is doing, and I think you'll be rewarded. And if you see it with people who've seen it before, they won't talk through it, but they can maybe help give some context to this stuff. Because, yeah, I think it plays better as a time capsule movie. Like, it looks better in the rear view than I think it might have looked then, at least in my opinion. So, yeah, I think Heat's awesome. You should definitely check out Heat. It feels silly to even ask if we'd recommend it. Yeah, of course. So, that's episode 298 of Off Script Film Review. Good Lord, Andy. We're coming up on the almighty 300, which is nuts, in just a couple of weeks. I'm going to tell people how they can find that episode, but that's right after you tell them what we're watching next week.
We're going to be taking a look at F1, the movie, the driving racing movie starring Brad Pitt. That looks like a lot of fun. Directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Top Gun Maverick. That's total dad cinema. Make sure you take your dad to that. That's a lot of fun. We're seeing that in IMAX in just a couple of days. And we're also going to be taking a look at K-Pop Demon Hunters, which is on Netflix. Zach, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh boy, you put me on the spot. I don't actually know a lot. I know it's from Sony Pictures Animation, Sony Animation Pictures. I know that's part of the team that put together the Spider-Verse films. Straight to Netflix. This is a anime-looking CGI film about three K-pop idols who have to fight a rival group of K-pop boy idols. They're all the bad ones are boys and the good ones are the girls, but they're also like demons. That's part of the thing. So they're like demon hunters on the side, but they're also K-pop idols. It's got this big cartoony animation style, and I've been hearing a lot about it, so I wanted to check it out, and Christine wanted to check it out too. And she said, are you guys watching it for the show? And I said, I don't think so. And she was like, why not? And so we were looking at other alternatives this week, and I was like, well, I actually want to watch. This one might be cool, so here we are. We're checking it out. It's on Netflix. You can go watch it now. It's already out. And we'll be covering that next week on episode 299 of Off Script Film Review. If you want to get that episode, along with episode 300 coming very soon to a podcast near you, best way to do that is just subscribe to Off Script. Subscribe to Off Script Film Review on your favorite platform or on YouTube, where we're doing very big things. Also, huge shout out to Materialist Review on YouTube. Oh my God. It's got me reinvigorated, lighting a fire under me. The Materialist Review is killing it. Go check out our review of Materialist from last week over on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all these are social media places. You can follow us over there. Comment, like, subscribe. Every bit of engagement helps. Every single scrap of engagement helps. Even every second you watch jumps up watch time on a platform that says, hey, this is a video we should recommend to other people. So anytime you spend with our content is great time, and we really appreciate it. Our audio listeners can find us on Spotify, Google Play, iHeartMedia, and iTunes, of course. You can check out our website, offscriptfilmreview.com. And you can email us correspondence directly. Maybe that top 10 list from New York Times, send it straight to us at mail@offscriptfilmreview.com. Let us know what you thought of 28 Years Later. Let us know what you thought of Heat. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've got thoughts. And if I'm wrong about Deep Cover, maybe let me know and we'll, revisit it or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's Off Script Film Review episode 298 from all of us at Off Script, the home of bold cinema. I'm Zach Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Draper.
Thanks for watching.